Welcome to the Baboom Baboom podcast, your go-to source for expert tips on car stereo installation, vehicle wiring, and all things wiring related. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, we've got the advice to help you power up your ride. Get ready to crank up the volume on your knowledge and make your next wiring project a success.
So for this deep dive, we're drawing on some great insights from Baboom Baboom. They're, real authorities in the audio world.
They certainly know their stuff.
And our goal today is, pretty straightforward. Give you a clear, practical roadmap for shielding your audio gear from those unexpected electrical hits. Make sure it lasts and keeps sounding amazing.
Let's do it.
Okay, so first things first. These electrical surges, what actually are they? What are we up against?
Right. Simply put, they're sudden, pretty big jumps in the voltage running through your house wires.
Like higher than the standard. Here, it's usually, 120 volts?
Exactly. A surge is when that voltage spikes way above the normal 120, even if it's just for a, tiny fraction of a second. Super quick sometimes.
Okay. A burst of extra juice. What typically causes these spikes?
Well, there are a few common culprits. The one everyone thinks of first is usually lightning strikes.
Ah, the dramatic one?
Definitely dramatic, yeah.
Yeah.
And they pack a massive punch, electrically speaking, huge energy.
Can't imagine anything surviving a direct hit.
True. But honestly, while lightning is, spectacular and destructive, most of the damaging surges actually come from more everyday stuff.
Oh, like what?
Things like power outages, or when the power company is switching things on the grid, maybe restoring power after an outage. That can cause fluctuations.
Okay.
Also, faulty wiring in your house, especially older wiring, that's another risk factor.
Right.
And, maybe surprisingly, even your own big appliances turning on and off can do it. Think about your air conditioner or maybe your fridge cycling on.
Really? Just the fridge kicking in?
Yeah, they draw a lot of power suddenly, and that can create these little ripples or mini surges in your home's electrical system.
Huh. That's interesting. So it's not just the big thunderstorms we need to worry about. It sounds like our gear might be getting these little hits all the time.
Exactly, and that's a really key point. A huge surge from lightning that can cause immediate, catastrophic failure, obvious damage.
Smoked components.
Yeah, but these smaller, more frequent surges, they're insidious. They happen over time, and they can slowly degrade the sensitive bits inside your receiver, your amp, your speakers even.
Like a constant background stress.
Precisely. It's like this slow wear and tear, weakening everything bit by bit. It leads to premature failure. Your gear just doesn't last as long as it should. So protection isn't just about dodging the big lightning strike. It's about preserving the long-term health, the sonic quality you paid for.
Got it. Okay, so we understand the threat now, from the big zaps to the little daily stresses. What's the absolute first line of defense? What's step one?
That would definitely be investing in good quality surge protectors. Now, it's really, really important here to know the difference between a surge protector and just a basic power strip.
Ah, yeah, the cheap multi-outlet things.
Exactly. Those just give you more places to plug stuff in. They offer zero protection against voltage spikes. A real surge protector is actually engineered to absorb that excess voltage or divert it safely away from your electronics.
Okay, so don't cheap out on a basic strip thinking it's protecting anything valuable. What makes a good surge protector, especially for audio gear? What should you look for?
There are a few key specs. First one is the joule rating. Joules basically measure how much energy the protector can soak up before it's, used up.
Okay.
For something like a home audio system with sensitive components, you really want to aim for a rating of 2,000 joules or higher. Gives you a decent buffer.
2,000 joules minimum. Got it. Higher's better there. What else?
You also want indicators, little lights, usually LEDs, that tell you the protection is actually active and working. If that light goes out, it's usually a sign the protector has done its job, maybe absorbed a big hit, and now it needs to be replaced. It's sacrificed itself, basically.
Okay, so it tells you when it's time for a new one. Makes sense.
Another crucial number is the clamping voltage. Think of it like how quickly the protector reacts. It's the voltage level where the protector kicks in and starts diverting the excess energy.
Lower's better here, right? You want it to react fast.
Exactly. For audio stuff, you want that clamping voltage to be below 400 volts. That ensures it acts fast enough to stop damaging levels from ever reaching your sensitive gear.
Okay, so high joules, low clamping voltage, and an indicator light. Seems like spending a bit more on a dedicated unit is definitely the way to go.
Oh, absolutely. It's a smart investment compared to replacing expensive audio components. And look for ones specifically marketed for audio video if you can.
Why those specifically?
Well, often they include extra features that are beneficial. One big one is line noise filtering.
Ah, reducing hums and buzzes.
Exactly. This tech helps clean up interference, like electromagnetic interference that might be riding on your power line. Getting rid of that noise can actually lead to cleaner, clearer sound. You might hear more detail in your music.
Oh, wow. So protection and potentially better sound. That's a nice bonus.
It really is. But
Need top quality electrical wire? Baboom Baboom's got you covered. Get your 6-pack today. Each combo comes in 6 different colors and a total of 600 feet of wire. Perfect for any project, and you won't find a better price in the industry. Head over to baboombaboom.com now to snag yours. That's baboombaboom.com.
and this is super important to remember, that surge protectors don't last forever. They have a limited lifespan.
Right, you mentioned replacing them after a big hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
After any major electrical event, like a nearby lightning storm or significant power surge, even if your gear seems okay, you should replace the surge protector. Its ability to protect is likely compromised.
And even if there isn't a big event.
It's still a good idea, just as a general rule, to replace them every few years, maybe 3 to 5 years, depending on the quality in your environment, just to be sure you've always got full protection. They wear out over time with smaller surges, too.
Okay, good advice. Treat them like consumables. Now, you also mentioned something bigger picture. Whole home surge protection. How does that fit in?
Right, so whole home protectors are different. They get installed right at your main electrical panel, where the power comes into your house.
At the source, basically.
Exactly. So instead of protecting just what's plugged into one specific strip, it provides a layer of defense for your entire home's electrical system. It intercepts surges right at the entry point.
So that would protect everything, like the TV, the fridge, computers, not just the stereo.
Precisely. That's the big advantage. Your HVAC system, your washing machine, all your smart home stuff, everything connected gets that baseline protection. The upfront cost is higher, obviously, than a plug-in strip,
Sure.
but it offers much broader protection against those external surges coming in from the grid.
Is that a DIY kind of job? Installing one at the panel?
Definitely not recommended. For safety, and just to make sure it's installed correctly and actually works effectively, you really need a qualified electrician to put in a whole home surge protector. They know how to integrate it safely with your panel.
Okay, professional installation. Makes sense.
And actually, a lot of people go for a kind of layered approach, which is often the best strategy.
How so?
They'll have the whole house unit installed at the panel as the first broad line of defense. Then, they'll still use good quality plug-in surge protectors at the outlets for their most sensitive or valuable electronics, like the audio system, home theater setup, computers.
Ah, like a belt and suspenders approach. Double protection.
Exactly. The whole home unit handles the big stuff coming from outside, and the plug-in units provide finder protection right at the point of use and against any surges generated inside the house, like from those appliances we talked about.
That sounds like a really solid plan. Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Grounding. We hear that word a lot in audio, make sure it's grounded. How does that play into surge protection?
Oh, grounding is absolutely fundamental. It's critical for electrical safety in general, but also hugely important for surge protection to even work properly.
How does it help with surges?
A good ground provides a safe path for excess electricity, like a surge to flow away harmlessly into the earth. Think of it like an escape route.
Okay.
If that ground path isn't there, or it's not effective, the surge doesn't have anywhere safe to go. So it's much more likely to travel through your expensive equipment looking for a path.
And potentially frying it in the process.
Exactly. And beyond surge protection, bad grounding is often the cause of those annoying audio problems. Hums, buzzes, weird noises. It messes with the signal purity.
Right, I've definitely dealt with ground hum before. So how do you know if your grounding is actually good?
Well, the easiest first step is to get an inexpensive outlet tester. You just plug it into your outlets, and it has little lights that tell you if it's wired correctly, including if the ground is properly connected.
Okay, simple enough to check the outlets.
Yeah. If the tester shows a problem, or if you're in an older house and you're just not sure about the wiring's condition, it's really best to call in a licensed electrician. They can inspect your whole system's grounding and make any necessary upgrades. It's a safety issue, really.
Makes sense. And what about the gear itself?
Right. You also need to make sure your audio components themselves are properly grounded. Most have a 3-prong plug for that reason. The third prong is the ground pin.
So don't use those little adapters to plug a 3-prong cord into a 2-slot outlet.
Definitely not. Those cheater plugs lift the ground connection, completely defeating that safety feature. Always plug into a properly grounded 3-slot outlet.
Good tip. Now, you also mentioned isolation transformers briefly. What role do they play?
Yeah, isolation transformers are a bit more specialized. They essentially create an electrical barrier between your gear and the main power line coming from the wall.
So like another layer of separation.
Kinda, yeah. They can provide really robust protection against surges, but they're also very effective at eliminating ground loop noise, those hums you get when multiple devices connected together create unwanted current paths.
Ah, okay. So noise reduction too.
Yes. They're often popular in very high-end audio setups for both the protection and the potential sound quality improvement by cleaning up the power and breaking those ground loops. They tend to be more expensive, though.
Right, more of a high-end solution, perhaps. Okay, so we've covered protectors, whole home systems, grounding. What about the simplest thing? When a really bad storm is rolling in, lightning flashing, what's the absolute safest bet?
No question about it. The single safest action you can take during a severe electrical storm is to completely unplug your valuable electronics. Your audio system, your TV, everything sensitive.
Just pull the plug, even with surge protectors.
Even with the best surge protection. A direct lightning strike carries such an unbelievable amount of energy. It can potentially overwhelm any consumer-grade protector. Nothing is truly lightning-proof.
So when the thunder really starts booming.
Yep. Err on the side of caution. Physically disconnecting the gear from the wall outlet is the only guaranteed way to protect it from a direct or very close lightning hit.
Okay, and just the power cord.
Good point. No, not just the power cord. Remember, surges can travel through other connections too.
Yeah.
So unplug from the power outlet and also disconnect things like incoming cable TV or satellite dish coax cables, Ethernet network cables if they run outside or near power lines, even antenna connections.
Ah, right. The surge could sneak in through the cable TV line, for example.
Exactly. It can find its way into your system through any conductive path. So disconnect everything that connects your system to the outside world during a bad storm.
That's a crucial reminder. Okay, one more area. Our audio systems. They're rarely islands, are they? They're connected to TVs, streaming boxes, consoles, routers. How does that interconnectedness affect surge protection?
That's a super important point in today's setups. Your receiver or amp is likely hooked up to a smart TV via HDMI, maybe a Blu-ray player, a game console, a network streamer connected via Ethernet.
Right, a whole web of devices.
Yeah, and a surge doesn't necessarily stop at the first device it hits. It can travel through those connections, HDMI cables, Ethernet cables, speaker wires in some rare cases from one component to another.
So protecting just the amplifier might not be enough if the surge comes in through the TV connected to it.
Precisely. You need to think holistically about the entire connected system. Protecting only one piece leaves the others vulnerable and allows a path for the surge to jump across.
So what's the solution? Protect everything in the chain.
Essentially, yes. You need surge protection not just for your main audio components, but also for the TV, the streaming box, the router, anything connected. And ideally, you want surge protectors that have ports for those other connections too.
Like protectors with coax jacks or Ethernet ports built in?
Exactly. Many good AV-focused surge protectors include protected jacks for coaxial cable lines, for cable satellite, Ethernet network lines, sometimes even phone lines, if people still use those near their gear. Using those protected ports helps close off all the potential backdoors a surge could use to get into your entertainment system.
That makes total sense. Protect all the entry points. Well, thank you so much for this incredibly insightful deep dive into surge protection. Really valuable stuff.
Need top-quality electrical wire? Baboom Baboom's got you covered. Get your 6-pack today. Each combo comes in 6 different colors and a total of 600 feet of wire. Perfect for any project, and you won't find a better price in the industry. Head over to baboombaboom.com now to snag yours. That's baboombaboom.com.